Good morning. God bless you. This is Prophetess Dr. Gloria Barksdale in our continuing series of Woman at the Well from Shame to Fame. This is week 23. It may have been a minute since you all heard from me. God bless me to be able to move to a new location, to a new home, new environment, new situation. And so we're grateful for the move of God. Today's episode, Rest and Sleep, the non-negotiable of restoration. Listen, if you're looking for restoration in your life at this moment, sometimes you have to pause for the cause. Sometimes you need to get some much needed rest, some much needed sleep, so that God can use you to the best of your ability, where you're alive, you're vibrant, you can hear Him, you can see things more clearly. But listen, without that rest, without that sleep, sometimes we operate out of emotion, we operate out of anxiety, we operate out of tiredness. And so the flesh seems to want to dictate what the spirit is trying to do. The scriptures for this particular episode are Psalm 4 and 8, Exodus 20, verses 8 through 10, and Mark 6:31. The juxtaposition to the woman at the well is the noon hour. The noon hour. This episode makes the case that rest is not a luxury or a reward, but it is a divine command. The woman at the well went to the well during the noon hour, which is the hardest part of the day, but it is also a time of physical duress. We want to highlight the importance of the Sabbath principle, intentional rest, reminding us that we must cease striving to be restored as Jesus commanded his disciples. Listen, sometimes our busyness is actually striving. We are forcing ourselves to be in a posture to get something done. We're forcing ourselves to finish our to do list in a limited amount of time. We're forcing our bodies to move at a pace that our mind to move at a pace that our bodies are telling us to slow it down. Take your time, rest, breathe, move by the spirit and not by the flesh. When we talk about peaceful sleep, we are talking about Psalm 4 and 8, which says, I will both lie down in peace and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Physical rest is an act of faith and trust in God's sovereignty. Let God do it. Let God move it. Let God fix it. Let God prepare it. Let God bring it. Sometimes we want to have our hands in it. We want to control it, manipulate it, and make it fit what our perception of time is. When God has already put a time, He has already said the season, He has already made the intentional meeting of that person, the intentional time for that new job, the intentional appointment for whatever it is you're striving to try to get to. There is a command to cease. The Sabbath principle is found in Exodus 20, verses 8 through 10. God's rest establishes a healthy rhythm of work and restoration that prevents burnout. Let's be honest, how much many of us have been um, responsible for our own burnout. We've been victims of how we've worn ourselves out trying to strive to get something done in our appointed time. Come on. That's when we need to learn every day that no matter what our list is, no matter what our to do priorities are, no matter what we think we need to accomplish, we must always end our morning prayer with God, let your perfect will be done in my life. In following the master's example, we're going to look at Mark 6:31, where Jesus tells his disciples to come aside and rest a while. Remember, God took 6 days to create the world, but on the seventh day, what did he do? The sovereign God, the all-powerful God, the all-knowing God, he rested. It wasn't because he was tired. It was because he was setting a precedence for us that we have to sometimes sit and do absolutely nothing. Focus on him, praise him, worship him, thank him for what has already been accomplished. Give him the glory Give him the honor. Give him the recognition for what we have accomplished so far through the power of the Lord. If the Son of God needed to rest, rest is a necessity. It is not a weakness. So stop guilt tripping when you've taken 1, 2, 3 days off and done nothing, not answered the phone, not been on social media, not spoken to everybody in your family, not done things that wear you out mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and most importantly, physically. The dangers of exhaustion. The woman's journey in the heat was taxing. Physical exhaustion compromises mental and emotional health, making us vulnerable to poor decisions and spiritual fatigue. Listen, I want you to grab hold of this concept that there's nothing wrong with stopping and resting. There's nothing wrong if you don't finish that particular thing on your to do list in the time you felt like you should finish it. God has the appointed time for everything. There's a season for everything under the sun. Be ready to operate in the fullness of what God has for you. Remember, He is the author and the finisher, the Alpha and the Omega. He is the beginning and the end. So while you're in your process, remember to rest. God bless you. This is Prophetess Dr. Gloria Barksdale. We are ending episode 23 of The Woman at the Well, From Shame to Fame. See you next week.